Alright, boys and girls, welcome to my fucking pigsty of a garage. Thought I'd have a crack at recording some videos of my first ever, believe it or not, attempt at making a wargaming table for home. Always been one of those things I wanted to do, never really had the space, and obviously once you buy your own home and all that, you fucking make the rules. So yeah, excuse the background noise. Obviously in the garage it's a bit echoey and I've got the 3D printer banging away. So been watching a bunch of YouTube videos, trying to get some ideas on how to get started. There's some absolutely amazing stuff out there if you just have a bit of a search. But it's sort of all done in a way that makes you reckon, oh yeah, I could do that. So basically spent last few days just gathering a few bits and bobs material wise, all that. A few sheets of shitty polystyrene, MDF tiles, got some XPS foam, just got back from Bunnings with that. So that's going to be what the actual base of the tiles is made from. It's good shit. This stuff's going to be more for hills and all that kind of rock formations. I did plan to use this as the base. After watching a couple of videos online, people are like, oh yeah, just cut it with a razor saw and all that, she comes out good. And then it's just like, nah, it's still crumbly dog shit. So that'll just get melted down basically for hills and all the rest. So I'm excited, but I'm also fucking haven't got a clue how this is going to come out. All these videos sort of, it's not just having the right tools for the job. I didn't have any of the tools for the job, so it's been a bit of Amazon and going to Bunnings this week. But yeah, so first protocol, get these bad boys measured up, cut up. I'm going to do 2 foot by 2 foot squares, keep it modular, and the eventual end game is to build almost like a frame table that I can drop these in and out of, so I can swap it. That way I only have to build one actual sturdy MDF type table, and I can just change the tiles to what I want, because I want to do a few different boards eventually. This first one, the plan is to do sort of a Mediterranean type thing. Basically, I've had a hard-on for Estalia from Warhammer Fantasy for too long, and I want to do a table where I can do like an Estalian type landscape, basically Spain, for anyone who's not familiar with Warhammer Fantasy. And I'll look to print out like a nice monastery or something like that on a hill, and basically, I don't know, have some demons attacking it or something. Just basically imagine Kingdom of Heaven on steroids. It's gonna be sweet. First port of call with any hobby project for me is always cup of tea. All right, so I'm gonna pause this, start measuring up some shit, and then I'll be back in a minute. All right, so those are cut. Now, half the reason I wanted to do this is I wanted to sort of show my journey on, building this, and as a complete beginner, the sort of issues that I come across, the problems I face, and things I didn't anticipate, and how I've got around it. So straight out the gate, we've already hit a hurdle. Now, I sort of knew this might be an issue, so I'll show you my workaround in a minute. Now, basically, because I'm doing this for Warhammer Gaming, obviously using the Imperial measurements, all that sort of stuff. So I wanted these to be 2 foot by 2 foot squares, basically because it works in nicely with the measurements of the game. Play most of my games on a 6 by 4 foot table. Now, the problem that you have here in Australia is, obviously being a country that mostly just uses completely metric system, they don't measure shit to that. So like, I was just down at Bunnings this morning getting these MDF squares cut, and the chick was just trying to wrap her head around why the fuck I would want like 305 millimeter squares, and I just straight 300s. In the end, I just conceded defeat and just said, do me a bunch of 300s and I'll make it work. Now, I could make this just a metric size table, do everything, 600 by 600 squares, all that sort of stuff. But I thought about it, and over the course of a game, all that sort of stuff, if I want to make this to be able to be 8 foot wide, which I do, that's going to end up being, 2 or 3 inches worth of distance difference, which, as I like to say to the missus, a couple of inches is the fucking difference between victory and defeat, mate. So with that in mind, I am going to try and find a workaround to make this as accurate as possible. So cut these square nice and easy. So as you can see, width-wise, we're at 2 foot, Bob's your uncle. Or lengthwise, I should say. Now the problem is, this is how it comes from the shop. We are just shy of 2 foot, which is really bloody annoying. Now, because this is the width of it, or the depth, whatever, I get all that shit confused. That's actually going to affect things like deployment, all that sort of stuff. Over the course of 2 tiles, both probably going to lose, you know, 1/2 inch to 1 inch from deployment. Now, I'm not someone who's a power gamer or all that sort of thing, but it actually, you know, will affect things a little bit over the course of a game. So with that in mind, I'm in the thought process of, I got these cut way smaller. These are meant to be 1 foot by 1 foot, but like I said, they ended up, you know, 300 by 300 mil. So what I might do is, if I layer these over it, just do 4 to make the 2 foot. And as you can already tell, it's going to be overhang, all that sort of stuff. So it was never going to be a perfect sort of fit. So what I'll do with that is I'll use that to my advantage. And because it's not going to be a perfect fit, I'll offset them a bit. So set them so that it's, you know, whatever I've got to do to make it actually 2 foot across. And I will fill with some, you know, extra bits of foam here just to extend it out. By the time you've textured, you know, put filler and all that crap all over it, you're not even going to see it. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. We'll see how that goes. Now, I'm going to secure this with liquid nails, as the mans on the internet told me to. Seems to be the best course of action. And look, to be honest, that stuff's probably going to take a bit of time to set. Got to weigh it down, all that kind of thing. The process today is hopefully just to get all of these tiles sort of structurally ready, so that I don't need to do anything. And then, you know, I can start planning out what I want to do. I've already drawn up some rough plans of like rivers and all that kind of crap of how I want it to work, which I'll dig out shortly and show you all. But yeah, so got 4 that are more or less spot on. These 4 are all gonna end up too small in both directions, just because the way that you know, with the metric system how it's worked, but we'll figure something out. All right, so we've got a couple of them done. So as you can see, I've spaced them out a bit. These ones here sit flush, nice and easy. It's just on the length here. See how it's got to overhang a little bit. So as you can see by like the space in the middle, like that's what I was talking about. That's roughly how much surface area the difference is when you switch between imperial and metric for this sort of thing. So, you know, it's worth considering. Got another one over here, just sort of drying away. I don't actually know how long this liquid nail shit takes to dry, so you know, I've got a few errands to run, so I'm gonna go do that and then see what these look like when I get back. Got a few more MDFs, but in my infinite fucking stupidity, realized I didn't get enough cut because I didn't switch them from 1 foot to 2 foot in my mind when I was counting how many I needed. So I'll have to go back to Bunnings, get another sheet cut at some point, but that's fine. Got enough to get 3 squares done for now, which, you know, I can start doing the texturing and all that sort of stuff on once they're dry. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'll pop back a bit later.